Empowering others to excel with your host, Jacqueline Job. Empowering others to excel with your host, Jacqueline Job. Are you ready to be transformed? I'm here to uplift, encourage, motivate, and inspire. Empowering others to excel with your host, Jacqueline Job. Good morning, everyone. I hope everybody is doing well today. Good morning, good morning. All right, I am your host, Jacqueline Jobs. Thank you for tuning in to Empowering Others to Excel, where I am here to uplift you, encourage you, motivate you, just to help you get from one moment to the next. I am your empowerment strategist. I am your accountability partner, and I am your friend. So thank you for tuning in today. Look for me every Saturday at 9 o'clock. You can find me on WMEG. Good morning, WMEG listeners. You can find me on social media on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. 9 o'clock on Saturday mornings. I am here to be your accountability partner, to push you forward. That is my goal. That is my mission. So thank you for tuning in today. If you are tuning in today, that means you need to be uplifted, you need to be motivated, and you need to be held accountable. So we're going to dive in today to our session. Our session today, the topic is facing reality after the release. Facing the reality after the release. Now, on our previous session, we talked about what you need to release and why you need to release it. The topic was you have to release in order to receive. That was our topic from last week or the week before. I can't remember which one it was. It was the week before because I had to take a personal day. And look, this is one of them things. Do not be ashamed to take care of yourself. Do not be ashamed to take care of yourself. I had to take a day to rest because I'm getting up every day at 5:30. I don't have a day where I can get up late. I get up early every day, Monday through Friday at 5:30. Then on Saturdays, I get up at 6:30. Sundays, I get up at 7 o'clock. So I don't have a down day. So last week, I had to take a day for me and I had to rest. I slept until like 11 o'clock and then I felt refreshed. So you need to take those times. As your accountability coach, I'm telling you, make sure you take time for yourself. You cannot pour into other people if you don't have anything to give. So make sure you take time for yourself. All right, so let's dive in. Our topic from last week is you have to release in order to receive. And some of the points that we talked about was why release is necessary. And in order to understand why release is necessary, you have to understand that in order for you to grow, you have to release those things that no longer benefit you. That is just the basics of it. Release is necessary because you had to let go of those things that no longer benefit you. They don't serve you purpose. They don't bring your life value. You have to let go of those things. So that is one of the topics that we talked about last week. Then we have what you need to release. We identified some of those things that are holding you back. So as far as like your past trauma, some of those past traumas, we're holding on to them as a crutch and they're holding us back. We talked about fears, fear of failure, fear of success. They're holding you back. So we discussed some of the things that you have to let go of. Understanding what you're making room for. We discussed that. Because when you're released, you're allowing yourself to grow. And in the process of allowing yourself to grow, you are making room for those things that you desired, but for some reason you did not go after them. So now you're making room for those things. Next one was guided clarity. We did an exercise that helped you to understand where you are right now and then where you're going, and then how do you get there. So that was our topics from last week. That was the topics from last week. Now, today, we are moving on to facing reality after the release. Now, this is one of those moments because after you release, after you let go of those things that do not serve you purpose, those things that do not bring value to you, you feel like, yes, you feel like you have accomplished something. But then after you feel that yes moment, reality hits. And it's like, oh my goodness, now what? I let those things go. Now what? So this is what happens when you release. You're facing that reality after the release. So I'm going to teach you, or I'm going to share some strategies with you to help you to stand strong through that moment because you're going to start to feel uncomfortable again. But I need you not to run from feeling uncomfortable. Realize that you're just stepping into a new era. And while you're stepping into that new area, everything is not planned out, everything is not known. But guess what? You have just put one little check on the board for you because you decided that you're going to go into your unknown now. You're deciding that you want to grow. So now we're going to talk about the quiet after you let go. So the quiet after you let go of those pains, after you let go of those fears, those things that were holding you back, after you let it go, there's going to be a quiet. There's going to be a stillness. And inside of that quiet and that stillness, there's going to be uncertainty. You're going to start to feel unease. And then you're going to be like, okay, now what do I need to do? Or why am I feeling this way? This is because now you are realizing your truth. You have let go of those things that have hindered you. You have let go of procrastination. You have let go of fear. You have let go of self-doubt. You have let go of those things that were spoken to you negatively, those things that you have held on to that was your truth. But in reality, it wasn't your truth. It was somebody else's truth because they were trying to manipulate you. They were trying to control you. And now you have let go of those things. So you have felt that, yes, like I have succeeded moment. But then after you felt that, yes, like, okay, I have let go. I did a good job. Then it's the now what? That's the stillness that comes, the quiet that comes. And inside of that quiet that comes, if you do not ground yourself, if you do not have your desires, your goals, your visions, your dreams written out, and you understand why you are moving forward in this direction, you're going to start to stumble. You're going to start to fall. You're going to start second guessing yourself, and you're going to want to go back. But I need you to understand, but that is not what this time or this season is for right now. This is not a time for you to go back. This is a time for you to embrace the new. This is a time for you to embrace the new. Good morning, good morning, good morning, Brianna. Good morning to those who are tuning in. This is now time for you to embrace the new. Because in that quiet, now you're going to be trying to figure out, who am I? Who am I? Because I have done these things for so long. Now the reality is setting in that I have to figure out, who am I? That self-awareness is hitting. You have to identify, what are those things that you like? What are those things that you dislike? Now you have, since you have released all of those things that do not serve you purpose, because those things that you were holding on to were a crutch. They were a crutch. They gave you an excuse. But now that you have released and let go, it's like, okay, now what? You now in this time you're understanding, I still got some work to do. I need to improve me. I need to get better in some areas. Then it's also, I can no longer avoid these things now because I don't have that stumbling block. I don't have that thing to hide behind anymore because I let it go. So I need you to understand that during this time after you release, this is when growing starts. This is when growing starts. Sometimes you have to relearn yourself all over again because it's almost like you were a puppet and somebody else was holding the strings. So now you have to figure out you all over again because now you have let go of that toxicity that was in your life. Those toxic people, those toxic experience, you have let go of all of those things. Now it's like you're learning yourself all over again. That puppet master is not holding you, making you dance, dance, puppet, dance. They're not there anymore. So now you're in that moment where you have to grow. You have to identify who you are, identify your values, your beliefs. What is it that you like? What is it that you don't like? And how you're going to proceed and move forward. We are ending the year 2025, y'all. This year has flew by. We are ending the year 2025. Now, since we have gone through all of those things in 2025, if you look back over your life for this past year and you see all of the things that you have gone through in 2025, and you're like, I'm not going to go through this again. I don't want to go through this again. I want to set new goals. I want to set new plans. Okay, so now this is that time. This is that time for you to do that. So now it's time for you to sit and realize who you are. What is it that you want? What is it that you desire? And it's time for you to create a plan of action of how you're going to move forward. So that is what we're talking about today. Now, also, we're talking about facing reality if it was comfortable because now you're facing reality. And this is what we need to do. The end of 2025, we need to face reality. We need to sit and go, okay, throughout this year, I have experienced A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Some things were on my list from the beginning of the year that I wanted to experience, things that I wanted to do for me, that brought me joy, that brought me happiness. Some things I allowed to come in because I was trying to please other people. I gave other people my time. I put my time into things that did not benefit me. It did not serve me purpose, but I allowed myself to be sucked into that. Or I just gave of myself when I shouldn't because I'm that type of person who tries to solve everybody else's problem. I'm that person who tries to please everybody else. So in the meantime, in 2025, I got stretched in all different types of ways. This could be you, and you got stretched and you got pulled on and you were tugged on all year long. And now you're at the end of the year and you're trying to look back and see, like, what did you gain out of this year? Or, like, what experiences did you do that was pleasing to you? And you don't really have that many because why? You allow somebody else to call the shots in your life. So now it's that time for you to stop. It's time for you to reevaluate. What is it that you want? What is it that you want to do moving forward? Not allowing anybody else to call the shots. This is you. What is it that you want for your life? What is it that you want for your family? What is it that you want as far as your job, your business, your finances, your personal goals, your dreams, your aspirations? What is it that you want? Now it is time for you to sit back and reflect. Take a long, hard look of everything that happened in 2025, and I need you to just sit and reflect. You can even write down a list of the things that you were like, yes, these things were pleasing to me. These things brought joy to me. These things added value to me. And then those key moments that stick out that you like, oh no, we're not going through this again. Oh no, we're not doing this again. Write those things down. And then I want you to reflect on how you felt during those times. Were those times where you were fighting with your mental health? Was it times when you were doing things that you didn't want to do, but you felt as though you had to do because you were the one that holds your family together? You're the glue. Was it times where you felt as though you were needed or you just wanted to be needed because you had that void in your life and you wanted to be needed? So you inserted yourself in other people's lives and tried to fix their lives, tried to help them out the best that you could. But and when you look back at it, you were not really helping them out. You were enabling them. So in the process of you trying to fill that void in your life, now you're enabling somebody else and they're becoming dependent on you when they need to be able to find their own roadmap and continue on with their life. So these are things that I want you to stop. I want you to reflect on. And going forward, I want you to start making some changes. Be aware of your environment. Aware of the people around you. Be aware of how you feel. Be aware of what it is that you want to do in life. And I want you to start working towards those things. Now, I want to also address some things that have hindered us, some things that we have hid behind, like when we say we hide behind the mask. A lot of us, we hide behind the mask and we're walking around. People like, oh, they got it all together because you're smiling, you're joking with these people. You're like, yes, and you're hanging out and you got this smile on your face, but it's a mask. And then you come home and you take that mask off and you're crying, you're sobbing, you're sitting there trying to figure out who are you? What are you doing with your life? Why do I feel like this? You're depressed, all of those things. So now it is time to take off the mask. It is time to take off the mask. Good morning, Nikki. I'm on your street. All right, well, I'm going to walk through that. I'm going to walk down your street today. It is time to take that mask off because you want to be the same person in front of people. You want to be the same person at home. It shouldn't be you out in public and you got to put on this grand gesture of, hey, I'm good. I'm all right. And then you come home and you break down. No, we need to be able to be the same person wherever we go. And then if we know that we're having those moments of when we're not feeling like ourselves, guess what? We need to own up that we're not having these feelings. And we need to let our people know, our support system know, like, hey, I'm feeling this way. I need some help. What can we do? So yes, we're going to walk down that street today. And now I'm going to identify some of the things that we hide behind, some of those masks that we hide behind. And it's not going to be the same for everybody. It is not going to be the same for everybody. Everybody mask is different because it's based on what you have experienced in your life. It's going to be based off of the experience that you have dealt with in your life. Because sometimes it's like you want to blame people for everything. And that was one of your things. You always were able to throw it off on somebody else. But now we're going to actually walk down this road and talk about some of the things that we hide behind. And we already know, number one of the things that we hide behind is past trauma. Past trauma is that when we deal with that past trauma, we hold on to that past trauma, it keeps us stuck. And the healing begins with the past trauma is when we say, this is what I am dealing with. When you're able to acknowledge that past trauma and say, this is what I am dealing with, I see where I was in this, and then you're able to break it down, that is going to be a healing process for you. So that way, and then you're releasing it. You already released it. I am no longer going to hold on to this. I accept it, but I'm going to grow from it. Good morning, Tammy. Good morning, Tammy. I took off the mask in 2022 and peace and happiness started to show up. Yes, I am so glad for you. Yes, we need to learn to take off that mask. This is me 24/7. What you see is what you get. That's what I say all the time. What you see is what you get. And if I'm having a moment, I'm sorry, I'm having a moment, y'all. And then I'm that type of person. It's on my face. My feelings show on my face. So you can look at me and go, oh, it's one of them days. Yep, it's one of them days. It's one of those days. So yes, I try not to hide behind the mask, but it is because especially when you hide behind that mask, oh my goodness, it's draining. It is emotionally draining trying to keep up the appearance. It is draining because you act in one way for somebody else and then you come home and it's like, okay, you are drained. You are spent. Your energy is done. So we want to take that mask off. 2025, the mask is coming off. We're going to acknowledge all the things about us, the good, the bad, the ugly, the flaws, everything. We're going to acknowledge it. We're going to embrace it and we're going to move forward. We're not going to be hiding behind that mask. So the next one that people hide behind is the fear of failure. Fear of failure. And this is not the fact that I failed at something. Okay. No, it's the fact that I failed at it. So now I'm going to say every time I want to try something new, I'm not going to do it. So this is my excuse from now on. Every time I want to do something new, you guys, it's going to be like, nope, I failed at this last time. I'm just not going to do it. That's an excuse that we hide behind. We're no longer going to hide behind that excuse. Next one is fear of success. And people are like, why would you be afraid of success? Oh my goodness. Let me break down why you can be afraid of success. Because when you start to succeed, you start to come from behind. I'm the type of person I say I like to be in the background. I don't like to stand out in front. I don't want everybody to just be looking at me. So I like to be in the background. Let me do everything from the background. If I'm going to bless somebody, let me bless somebody from the background. They don't even have to know it's me. Just let me go here and do what I got to do from the back. And the problem with this year, I have been pulled to the front more than I care to say. So now I'm embracing it, yes, because I realize if I stay in the background, if I try to continue to hide myself, I am blocking my blessings that are supposed to be coming, or my blessings that have already come. But I'm blocking them because I'm trying to hide. I'm trying to stay hidden. And God is saying, nope, it's time for you to stand out. It's time for you to stand out. I'm like, I don't want to. And this is me having conversations with myself, y'all, because I talk to myself. I don't want to stand out. Can I just do it from back here? No, it is time for you to stand out. And when you're standing out, the thing is, you're not standing out to be seen. So it's not like I'm here. Yup, this is me. I did that. I did that. No, it's not that. It's just the fact that it's time for you to get into those places where you can share your gift with others. So it's not that you're walking and being proud of, you're not walking boasting and being proud. No, it's just time for you to come from the background. It's time for you to open up your mouth and speak. Whatever those gifts are that you have, it is time for you to start sharing them. And that is what's been happening with me in 2025. I had to come from the background. Because just imagine if I decided to say no to this calling, as far as me coming on every Saturday and pouring into you all and being your empowerment strategist, being your accountability partner. If I say no to some of these things, some of you may not be able to get the word that you need in order for you to move forward. Now, I'm not saying that God couldn't send somebody else. Yes, he could have. But he's like, this is where you're supposed to be. It is time for you to come to the forefront. So that is one of those things of fear of success, or it was for me, because I didn't want to be seen. I wanted to stay in the background. But the more I got pushed and I had to keep answer to that calling to come forward, it's not so bad being up here. It's not so bad being up here because I'm not being up here in my own strength, boasting about what it is that I can do. I'm just here sharing with you my gift. I am here to help you all. And that is my gift. And I'm comfortable walking in my gift. And then I go back like, all right, now I did it. I'm done. Let me go back to being myself back over here. So that is what I need you to understand. So fear of success, you do not have to be fearful of your success, because when you are succeeding, that means you're walking in your gift. You're walking in your calling. And when you're walking in your gift and walking in your calling, you have everything that you're equipped for. So there's no need of you fearing it. So that is one of those things that we hide behind, that we need to stop hiding behind. Next one is we hide behind other people's opinions. Good morning to those who are joining in. Good morning to those who are tuning in. We're talking about facing reality after the release. The last couple of sessions, we talked about releasing those things that were not of value to you, that did not bring you joy, that did not bring you happiness, and did not benefit your life. We talked about that. So now we're talking about reality after it settles in. After you have released those things, that reality settles in. So now we're talking about it. And now we're talking about taking off the mask as well, because a lot of our excuses because we hide behind the mask. And when we hide behind that mask, we feel comfortable, but that mask can be draining. So now we're talking about we're coming out from behind the mask. And these are some of the things that we use as a crutch or an excuse. The next one is other people's opinions, because you're so concerned about what other people are thinking of you. And we need to realize that we need to stop being worried about what other people are thinking about us. And we need to start being worried about ourselves. We need to be worried about how we feel. Like, are we doing those things that we want to do? Because a lot of people, they're trying to keep up with other people. And you need to realize that what is for you is for you. What is for them is for them. They've gone through their experiences. They've gone through their tests and trials, and they are where they are. You have gone through your experiences. What did you learn from your experiences? Because that's what we need to understand. What did we learn from our experiences? Good, bad? What did we learn from them? How are we growing from those experiences? How can we help other people who are in similar experiences? So other people's opinions don't matter. Because yes, if they're sitting there talking about something that you did in your past, guess what? Yes, you did that. You will own it. I did that. But guess what? I'm also doing this now. I've grown. I'm not that same person. So you can talk about that because that's where you're stuck at. But guess what? I have new things going on in my life. So that is where we need to become comfortable with. So we're not worrying about what other people think. Become comfortable with just knowing who you are. We hide behind being too busy. That's another one. I don't have time to do this. I don't have time to do this. Especially when it comes to things that benefit us, that pour into us. We need to learn to make time for ourselves. Take time for ourselves. Whatever it is that you're doing, make sure you're taking time for yourself. We need to learn to do that. Good morning, Asia. Good morning. Next one, waiting on the right timing, being perfect. Being perfect is just going to slow your progress. If you're one of those people who you strive for perfection, you striving for perfection is going to slow your process. There are some things that you need to do right now. You might not have all of the full understanding of it, but you need to be doing it right now. But you're like, no, I need to wait because I got to get this. I got to get this. I got to get this. No, some things you need to do right now. And then once you start doing it, all of the rest of the process will start to lay itself out. So being a perfectionist person, I said that wrong, can hinder your process, hinder your growth. Some other things that we hide behind: lack of confidence. We need to build up our self-confidence in ourselves. We need to understand that we're not perfect. We need to understand that sometimes there's going to be doubt there, but you need to pour into yourself. Speak positively over yourself. I may not understand this, but I know where I can go to get the information I need. Past mistakes hold us back. We need to realize, yep, I did it. I acknowledge I did it. I'm moving forward. These are all things that we hide behind. Playing the victim. Oh, yes. You know, you have those people in your life. You probably can say their name right now. Who played the victim? But this is a mask that they're hiding behind. They are hiding behind the playing the victim card. Because if they stay hidden behind that playing the victim card, they do not have to be accountable for the things that they are doing in their life. So that is something that somebody hides behind, playing the victim. Saying you don't have support. Some things you may not have support for, but you're going to have to step out there and do it on your own. And then once you go out and do it on your own, support may come your way. But don't say just because I don't have the support I need, I can't move forward. Yes, you can. You can move forward. Then there's two more I'm going to say, and then I'm going to move on. Spiritually bypassing. This means you just say, oh, God got this. He's going to handle this. How are you hiding behind that? Yes, it is good to have faith in God. We need to have that. But if you're just saying that God got this, he's going to handle this, and you're not putting in any work, guess what? You're just hiding behind it. And then when it all fails, you're going to say, God didn't want this for me. But you weren't putting in any work. What were you doing? Faith without works is dead. You have to put in the work. You have to have the faith. You have to put in the work. And then you see the success on the other end. So just saying, oh, God got it, that's not all. You need to be able to have some of it too. You need to be accountable for what it is that you're asking for, what it is that you're doing. And then we have comfort zones. We hide behind those comfort zones. I feel comfortable here. I feel safe here. I'm going to stay right here. But you know full well you're staying in that safe spot and you're sitting there and you're like, something's not right. Like this spot used to be where I fit in. This spot is where I used to have my group of people. This spot is where I used to have my voice. And now all of these things seem to be falling apart. I don't fit in anymore. I don't feel comfortable here anymore. I don't have the voice here anymore. What is going on? It is mean you have outgrown that spot. You have outgrown it, and it's time for you to move on. We need to understand these things and stop hiding behind them. When you release, you remove the excuses. You remove the excuses. You remove the blinders off of your eyes because now you should be able to see some things once you have released some things. It unlocks responsibility and it unlocks opportunities. And you have to be ready for them all. You have to be ready for the new responsibilities and you have to be ready for the new opportunities that are coming your way because you're making room for the new. Out with the old, in with the new. You are making room. You have released those things and let those things go. Let those people go. Let the environment go. Let those thoughts go. Let those past pains go. The hurts, anxiety, fears, doubt. You have let them go. And now, guess what? You're making room. You're making room to receive. So in this time, you're gaining clarity. You might feel as though, oh, I'm just at a standstill. You are gaining clarity. You're getting a blueprint. You're creating your blueprint because your story is not finished yet. You need to write the rest of your story. What is your story going to look like moving forward in 2026? What is your story going to look like? Are you going to find happiness? Are you going to start a new venture in life? Are you going to experience the world? What does your story look like? Are you coming out of your coma in 2026? Are you going to start a new entrepreneur? Are you going to become an entrepreneur? What does 2026 look like? What is your story? What are you writing for 2026? Or are you writing same old, same old? I want you to start writing your story. Start writing your story. And now I want you to also think, what have you been hiding behind that you can no longer use as an excuse because you have released it? What have you been hiding behind that you can no longer use as an excuse because you released it? And some of you might have felt it in the past couple of months, especially if you have been doing the homework assignments. If you have been doing the homework assignments, you might have experienced this in the past couple of months because you wanted to say something and you was like, "Ooh, I can't say that anymore." And then now you got to stop and think, like, what can I do? You're reframing it. That's our word. You're reframing it. So now you got to reframe some things in your life because you can't do those things. Those things that you released and said you weren't going to do anymore. Now you got to flip it. So I'm quite sure for those of you who have been doing your homework, you have been hitting those moments and you're just like, ooh. And then you get excited and you get pumped because you've realized the growth that's there now. You're realizing the growth, you're seeing the growth, and you're like, yes, I want more of this. And guess what? I want more of it for you. I want more of it for you because that is the whole purpose of us being here. We want to be able to grow. We want to be able to see that growth. We want to be able to feel that growth. And then it's also good when you got other people that come and say, guess what? It's something different about you. And you're like, yeah, like I feel different. I feel good. And you realize, like, oh, it's because you're growing. You're growing by leaps and bounds, things that you didn't realize before that you could do, you're doing. You're standing up for yourself. You're speaking positively about yourself. You're pouring into other people when you used to shy away from it. And now you walk up to somebody and say, hey, I see you going through this. Let me tell you something. Let me share this experience with you that I had because I think it might be able to help you. You're doing all of those things now, and you should be proud of yourself for that. Okay, so now, what reality often reveals? What reality often reveals? During this time, reality reveals emotional wounds that still need healing. So, yes, you're going to feel those pains, but are you going to let those pains stop you? That's what I want to know. Because when you stop and you reflect back on some things, you're going to go back and think about some things that hurt you. But guess what you're going to realize? That hurt, it doesn't cut as deep as it used to. You're going to go back and look at it and go, oh, before I'll be balling up crying right now. I'll be on the bed, balled up in a fetal position, snotting, crying. But now I've grown and I've understand some things now. And now I can look back on it and think and go, oh, like, yeah, it's still there, but it's not to the point that it's crippling me and I can't move forward. That's saying growth. Another thing that you discover, habits that no longer align with your goal. One day you're just going to walk and you're going to do something you used to do and be like, why am I doing this? Like, oh, I need to change this. You're going to start realizing that this is reality kicking in now. You have released those things. Reality is kicking in. You're going to be like, I don't want to do this anymore. This does not benefit me. Why am I doing this? Kick out the old habits, start some new ones. You're going to start to realize or discover financial relationships, spiritual areas that need attention. You might have been one of those people who were spending money like crazy, but now you have set some goals for yourself. So now you realize, oh, I cannot be out here spending my money like this. You might be one of those people who, when your thought process and the way you rationalize things, you're like, oh, before I had this perspective, my mindset has changed now. So now I see it from this perspective. That's growth. You might be one of those people who spiritually, at one point, you was like, I'm okay with the mundane. Knowing full well you needed to pray more, you needed to seek the face of God more, all of those things. And now you have this hunger and this desire in you. You want it. And I can tell you one thing for me is I, well, I've always had a hunger and a desire for God. But my whole thing was reading the Bible for me is like, And if it's you, type it in the comments like, yes, it's me. I mean, and now you can listen to it, you can listen to it audibly. So it's like, yes, it helps you out. But I have actually sat back down because I mean, I used to always be like, oh, I'm gonna start reading the Bible beginning of the year. I'm going to try to get through this, get through this, get through this, get through this. But now it's to the point now I can sit and I'm reading the Bible and I'm just like, oh my goodness, I'm just getting so much from it. And I'm like, oh, this is something I missed before. And it's to the point now I'm not just reading the words. The words are coming alive. And when I get to points I don't understand, I'm like, what does this mean? And I'm researching, like, well, let me find out what this means. And then it's taking me to a whole new book in the Bible. I'm like, oh, let me read this story. I got to fill up on this first and then go back to what I was doing. So that is some things that you're going to realize, you're going to start to discover with your release, depending upon what your release is. You're going to be seeking more attention. You're going to desire more things. You're going to want to know more things. You're going to also identify areas or boundaries that were weak in your life. And then you're going to be like, oh, let me restructure this. It's almost like you had a fence and the fence had some broken pieces in it. And now that you release some things, you're able to see where the fence needed to be fixed and where your boundaries need to be put back because you became lax and you allowed those boundaries to slide. You're like, oh, it's all right. Oh, okay, I'll do it this time. But now you're like, oh, no, I'm going to stick to these boundaries. I'm going to stick to these boundaries. So you're discovering these things. Reality is setting in. And then the last one that is places where fear has been disguised as comfort. You're realizing it now. You're realizing that area where fear that was disguised as comfort because it was holding you back. So for you, you thought, oh, I'm just comfortable here. No, it's because you were afraid. You were afraid to move forward, so that's where you stayed. But for you, it was like, oh, I'm comfortable here. No, it was afraid. You were afraid to move. You were afraid to step out of the box. You were afraid to see or to do something. You were afraid for your perspective to shift because you knew there was a change that was coming and you don't like change. So now you're starting to see that like, oh, like all along, I thought I was comfortable. No, I was afraid. And the thing is, we need to realize and understand it is not a problem to be afraid of something. It's not a problem to be fearful, but we need to make sure the fear is not dictating our lives. That's the whole thing. You need to make sure the fear is not dictating your life. And when you get to a spot and you realize, oh, I'm afraid of this, you need to stop and go, why am I afraid of this? Like, what is causing me to fear this? And then once you break that thing down, it's like, oh, why was I afraid of this? This is nothing. Like, I can handle this. I'm equipped for this. But you have to begin to realize that this is also becoming self-aware and identifying these things. And how? The only reason you're being able to see is because what? You released some things. And when you released some things, those blinders came off. Those excuses had to go out the window. So now you're able to see clearly. You're getting clarity about so many things that were hidden, that were covered up, that were disguised in your life. You are getting that clarity now. You're going, oh my goodness. Now I'm about to jump ahead of myself, but this is the thing I need you to understand because you're going to hit that oh my goodness moment and you're going to be like, this was me. And you might get sick to your stomach like, oh my goodness, this was me. Like this is what's hiding under here. But I need you to understand because we are our worst critics. We are the ones who can tear ourselves down the worst. I need you not to go there. Yes, this was you. Yes, this was hidden. Other people might have saw because you had the blinders on, you couldn't see it. So, for example, I'm gonna give you some examples. If you were that type of person who talked down towards other people because you were feeling insecure about yourself. So instead of building people up, you were tearing them down because you were insecure about yourself. Yes, that was you. Own it. It was me. Now, what are you going to do moving forward? If you were a people pleaser and you ran back and forth to and fro all the time trying to help other people, and now you're like, that was me. Don't beat yourself up about it. It was you. Now, what are you going to do about it? What boundaries are you going to set in place? If you were that person who spoke negative about everybody, anybody, every situation because you were unsatisfied with your own life, that was you. Own it. Now, what are you going to do about it? This is the thing I need you to face. This is facing reality. Yes, sometimes reality doesn't look pretty when you get to see it with the blinders off. You get those wake up moments and go, oh my goodness, this is me. If you're that type of person who have a conversation with somebody, you think this person is stupid all the time because you cannot understand why they can't comprehend what you're saying. But you have to stop and think. Everybody does not process things the same way. Just like when we were in school, every child learns differently. Everybody processes things differently. But you're that type of person who's sitting here like, they should understand what I'm saying. No, if they process things differently, they're not going to get it. So, yes, that was you. That was your thinking. Now that you understand it, what are you going to do about it? These are those things. I need you to not be hard on yourself. Once you start to realize the things that you have done, the things that you have said, the things that you didn't like about yourself, don't be hard on yourself. Why? Because that's the past you, that's the old you. You have identified it now. So, what are you going to do about it? Miss Diane said, I had to learn to say no sometimes. Yes. You got to put no in your vocabulary. It's not bad. Put no in your vocabulary. No, I cannot do this right now. No, I don't have the capacity for this right now. And then they're like, but why? You know. But this is what I have to do to keep my joy. This is what I have to do to keep my peace. Like, y'all haven't seen me go crazy. Y'all don't want to. So let me do me, please. No, I cannot attend this function. I cannot be around situations where it is draining me. Like, I don't understand why you want to be around a situation where it's draining you, because you know what the end result is going to be, because we do it every single time and it drains you. And then you go home like, oh my goodness, and you want to vent. Learn to say no sometimes, people. It's good for you. Okay, so now, facing reality without self-judgment. You see yourself, you understand what it is that you did, but now I need you to understand how you're going to move forward. What are you going to do? What are you going to put in place? I need you to understand you have come this far. You're not going to give up. You're going to keep pushing forward. You're going to keep moving forward. Take that ownership, but don't carry the shame. Take the ownership, but don't carry the shame. I'm going to say it again. Take the ownership. Own it. Own it, acknowledge it, but do not carry the shame that came with it. And this is why you don't have to carry the shame, because you acknowledged it. You know, and you realize now, this is what happened. This is what I did. This is what they did. This is how I felt. You know that. So now you know what you need to do moving forward to make sure that you don't feel that way. You don't do those things. So you're owning it, but do not take the shame. So this is what I want you to do. What part of the situation can I control? Think about it. What part of the situation can I control? What small changes can I make? What small changes can I make? And then what lessons can I learn from where I am? What lessons can I learn from where I am? And see, me, I already know going into 2026, one of the lessons that I'm going to take with me is I'm going to take more time for myself. I'm going to take more time for myself. And it's funny because my husband would say it all the time. He was like, but you make your own plans, because I'm always say I am busy doing something. And he was like, you're your own boss. He was like, so you can stop and you can take a break. You can stop and you can do this. You can say, no, I'm not doing this. You are your own boss. But me, I'm making it so I got to do this. I got to do this. I can't take this break. I can't stop. I have to keep moving, because if I don't keep moving, life is going to go without me doing all of this stuff. And I'm like, you know what? I need to learn to take time for me. Take time for me. Asia said, I am on target with her today. She just experienced a lot of this yesterday. You got to learn to take time for yourself. I'm 2026. Oh my goodness. Watch out, 2026. I'm taking more time for myself. I'm going to get back into some old habits and routines that I lost back in a couple years ago when I lost myself. But I found myself, y'all. Did y'all find yourself? Are y'all finding yourself? Let me know in the comments. Are you finding yourself? Were you one of those people who felt like you lost yourself and you were trying to figure out what in the world is going on? But now you found yourself, or you're finding yourself. So now you're realizing the things that you need to do to continue to grow. I was there. I found myself, and now I'm just continuing to grow. I'm building. I'm not going to ever stop learning. I'm never going to stop learning and engaging and obtaining knowledge that's going to improve me. So that is what I am doing. Now, this is one of the things. Building a new relationship with truth. The truth shall set you free. And it will. Everything moving forward, you need to acknowledge the truth in it. Why? Because the truth brings clarity. It gives you understanding. It helps you to reveal or understand the next steps. It keeps you focused. Because we walking around here in denial. And denial is just hindering us. We were walking around here because we released some things. So I got to change my verbiage. We were walking in denial. We were walking with blinders on. But now that we have released some things and we're able to acknowledge some things, we're able to walk in the truth. And that truth is setting us free. That truth is helping us to be able to see some things more clearly. I can see clearly now, the rain has gone. Yes, it is helping us to see some things clearly. It is giving us direction. It is giving us direction. It is revealing the next steps to us. And it is helping us not to repeat the cycles. Because that is the one thing that we need to definitely work on. Not repeating the cycle. Because why do we repeat cycles? Why were we on that hamster wheel? Because we didn't have the truth. We had the blinders on our eyes. We couldn't see. Our mindset was stuck. We were letting everybody talk to us and tell us what it is that we need to do instead of asking ourselves, what is it that we really wanted? Or what is it that we need to do? So that now we are walking in our truth. And that is what I want for everybody. You're walking in your truth. You're not perfect. I am not perfect. That is my truth. My truth. When I sit and I talk to people, yes, I get tongue-tied sometimes. That is my truth. Does that mean that I am not gifted in this space that I'm in? Nope. Nope. It just means that I'm going to push on. Y'all going to see me sometimes going, trying to get it together. But I'm going to push on. So you need to be able to walk in your truth, acknowledge your truth, identify what it is in your life. I'm sorry. Yes, there we go. Identify what it is in your life that you want to move forward on. Truth does not limit us, it liberates us. If you like that, you can use it. Truth does not limit us, it liberates us. Now, I need you to understand these key points. Reality is not, because remember, we're walking in reality now. We can see now. Reality is not a final destination. It is you writing your story. So it's you picking up where you left off. So yesterday you were here. Where are you going to be today? Where are you going to be the next day? Where are you going to be tomorrow, next month, and so forth. So reality is not a final destination. Reality is not a label. Like I'm in my reality. No, it's not a label. So you cannot label this. You just have to go with the flow. Reality is a checkpoint. So right now, we are facing reality. This is our checkpoint moment. This is where we're holding ourselves accountable. This is where we're reflecting on what it is that we have done, what it is that we did do, where we were, and then where we're going. So reality is a checkpoint for us. It's just like our check engine light came on in the car. That's what reality is, saying, hey, ding, 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 there's some things I need you to look at. I need you to look at these things. Can you check out these things for me, please? That's what reality is doing for us right now. It's telling us, hey, I need you to check out some things. It's a moment of alignment. Just like when we go and get our tires aligned on our car. Why? Because we've been riding on them so long. So now we got to switch them up. So that way the load can be shifted a little bit. That is what's going on with us. We need to be aligned. We need to switch some things up. Some things that were not working for us, we need to switch it up. We need to change some things. We need to revise some things, rewrite some things. We need to do all of those things. That is what reality is. And then it's giving us a place to build from. It's giving you a place to build from, because we all need to have that foundation. But if your foundation wasn't sure to begin with, now reality is setting in. You can say, oh, this is what I was missing. This is what I was lacking. And you can start putting those pieces in that were missing so that your foundation can become stable. Because before it was rocky. It was rocky. What they say, you move with every wind and doctrine, meaning you're just going to and fro. You're like a tumbleweed. The wind blows to the right, you're going to the right. Wind blow to the left, you're going to the left. No, you need that foundation that's going to keep you sure. So you're not just running every which way. You have your foundation, putting in place what it is. And how do you build your foundation? You start with your self-awareness. Then you start with the things that you like, dislike, your values, your beliefs, your morals, your dreams, your visions. You start laying it all out. You need to build that foundation, because you need that sure foundation so that in order for you to continue to grow. Because if you start stacking things on a foundation that's not stable, guess what? It's going to fall. And if you continue to keep trying to stack, it's going to continue to fall. But once your foundation is sure and you have all of the places in a row, that doesn't mean it's perfect, but you have something there to grow upon. Because in life, we're always growing, always growing. So as long as you have those things that's going to help you to continue to grow, you're going to continue to have momentum. You're going to continue to move forward. And that is what we need. So that is what the reality is. It is our checkpoint saying, hey, look at this, check this out. What do you think about this? Alignment. Make sure you're in tune with the things you need to be in tune with. And you have a building, a firm foundation to move forward with. Firm foundation. And guess what? You can start over. You can start over. Knock the house down. That was built, that was crumbling. The window was always letting in the draft. Oh, that's nice. The door was letting in the draft underneath. The enemy was always coming in. You need to close the windows to keep the enemy out. All of that stuff. You can knock that whole house down. Knock it down and build a new one. Just start from scratch. Build yourself. Reconstruct yourself. This is who I want to be now. So now you're reconstructing yourself and you're creating your new identity. This is who I am. This is who I want to be. This is what I'm going to do moving forward. Do that for yourself. Now, I want you to stop and think. This is a reflection exercise before we end. I want you to stop and think. This is where I am right now. This is where I am right now. Where are you? Identify it. This is what I have released. We have done releasing for the past 2-3 weeks. If you need to go back and check out those videos, you can go on Empowering Others to Excel on YouTube. They're there. So you can go back and check out those sessions. Next one is, this is what I now see clearly. What do you see clearly now that the blinders are off? Your truth is setting in. Reality is clicking for you. What do you see clearly now? This is what needs my attention next. Now that you are seeing clearly, what needs your attention? Identify those things that need your attention. And this is one step I will take this week. Identify the step that you're going to take this week. Okay, so now I hope that this session has been helpful to you. We are still going to be having our Create and Grow experience. I've been mentioning it for the past couple of sessions, our Create and Grow experience. I am going to be having one in Baltimore. It is going to be next month. I haven't figured out the exact date yet because I'm still trying to pinpoint the venue where we're going to have it at. But we're going to have our Create and Grow experience. And this experience is going to be an hour of coaching. And then we're going to have an hour of creating our vision board and identifying our next steps. So it's going to be an hour of coaching. So it's a 2-hour session. It's going to be 1 hour of coaching, like what we're doing here now, but it's going to be in front of you all. And that way you can ask questions, you can chime in, you can talk to the people next to you, and you can learn from each other. So we're going to have an hour of coaching, and then we're going to have an hour of us creating our vision board. All of the materials and things I am going to have. So all you have to do is bring yourself. Yes, there will be a fee for it. Once I get the venue down packed, I will put out the information. I will send it to those who are normally on. So that way you can grab up a friend who you know is stuck and they need this. You can grab them up and be like, hey, we're going to go to this. We're going to take out this time to go do this. And then in the process, yes, you're going to get fed. There's going to be food. We're going to be there for 2 hours. We're going to be learning from each other. I'm going to be accountability partner. I'm going to push you. I'm going to move you forward in this. So yes, we're going to have this session. It's called Grow and Create. It's the Grow and Create, Write the Vision, and Make It Plain Vision Boarding Experience. Hopefully it will be in January. I'm not sure of the dates yet. And then I'm also trying to have another one in February. And then I also have some other experiences that I'm going to put out there in 2026 because I want this to almost be like a sip and paint kind of feel. But we're going to come together, we're going to participate, we're going to learn from each other, we're going to do activity, but we're going to be better because of it. So I want you to be on the lookout for these activities, these experiences. I will let you all know when they come. And for this session, I thank you for tuning in, my WMEG listeners. I thank you for tuning in, those who are tuning in on Facebook, social media. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I am Jacqueline Jobs, your empowerment strategist. I am here to uplift you, motivate you, encourage you. I am your accountability partner. If you would like to partner with me, you can do so through Cash App at EOE Change Agent. EOE Change Agent. If you would like to partner with me, there are some other people who have reached out to me. I'm sorry I have not gotten back to you. I will get back to you. So once again, I thank you for tuning in. I hope that this session has encouraged you. I hope this session has given you some clarity, some understanding of what it is that you need to be looking forward in your next season of life. We're going to move into 2026 empowered. We're not moving into 2026 frustrated. We're going to go into 2026 empowered. And I want you all to go along with me for the ride. I will be here. I will continue to help you through this journey called life that we're all trying to figure out on a daily basis. So I am going to be here. So come and tune in next Saturday at 9 o'clock. I will be here. YouTube, social media, WMEG. And I hope that you all will have a blessed week. Please enjoy the holiday with your family. And until next time, be blessed, be blessed, be blessed, be blessed.